What's up, everybody? That time of the day, that time of the week, that time of the month.
It sure is.
Try
Try it again.
Jesus Christ. You're listening to The Good,
The Band.
The Ugly. I'm Big Papa.
And I'm Jeff.
Just
Jeff.
Just Jeff. Not just Joe.
No.
Not just anything.
Nope.
Just Jeff.
Just
Just
Jeff.
in the nick of time.
Yes.
What the heck happened to my tongue?
I have no clue.
It's swollen, and it just
is.
cut my vocals right off.
It happens.
People pray for that moment. People
A lot of people. Yeah.
A lot of people pray
A lot
to
of people
shut
pray
me
for
up.
that moment.
So, one thing people are going to notice on this show is that we will not have to click the explicit box.
That's going to be a first or
You
a
shut
second.
up. You shut up. It's going to be very difficult.
It is.
And no sound effect to even bleep it out. So I'm just
Nope.
going to be, I'm going to behave this show. My mother will be proud. Oh,
Yeah.
Michael, why wouldn't you do
Michael.
that for every show? Why do you have to use that language?
Do you know who we're talking to 90% of the time?
Mom, Dad taught me that word.
Yeah, right.
Just telling you.
Just letting you know.
He's getting yelled at right now.
Well, probably.
Oh, yeah. That's a wonderful thing. Listen, I have been waiting for this episode since I was 14. Yes. Oh, yeah. I have it written in my diary. Dear diary, someday
diary.
you'll have a podcast.
Someday.
Someday you'll have a podcast.
Yep.
And don't ask me what that is now. but
Right.
You will have a podcast.
We'll have a podcast.
And you will have the one person that was cool to every musician they ever met.
And kind of started it all,
Started it all. Yeah.
you know?
I went to take music lessons. Now, I've been taking music lessons since I was knee-high to a grasshopper.
So when God invented the wheel.
You shut up. Back then, drums were played on trees.
Yes.
And I took lessons,
Whittled
private lessons.
Whittled sticks. And
Shut up, Jeff. Shut up. It was back even before your mullet.
hey.
I took drum lessons at a place called DeSantis Music in North Syracuse.
Mm-hmm.
And anybody who was cool took
it there?
lessons from DeSantis Music. Now, they ended up having 3 locations and crushed it. And I've always just sang praise about the facility and the people that ran it.
Mm-hmm.
And we are so lucky today to have Maria DeSantis on with us. So I am not even going to get into it. I'm just going to say,
No.
Maria, I know you're here because I could hear you laughing at my extremely funny rhetoric. So you can hit the video button now
Come on in.
like we taught you.
Wait, do you hear that? Oh, there she is.
There she is. Look at
Yes,
this
the
is
technology done.
She is
Just
the
got back in.
She's the technology
Okay.
queen.
Yes.
Maria invented the internet.
Oh,
It was going to be called the Maria Net.
the Maria net.
The Maria, not the Maria Net.
Oh,
Don't put me down this path. I cannot. I have to behave.
I know.
I promised.
I'm trying.
I promised myself. I promised.
I'm going to do what I can.
I promised my friend Mary Jo that I would behave.
Oh, this is going to be a good one then.
Yep. I'm
Okay.
not going to swear. God, this is going to be hard. Jesus is not a swear word. He's
It
a
is
man.
not.
He was a man. So I'm going to call his name a lot. Not in vain, though.
I was going to say, be careful.
Nope. Shut up, Jeff.
You're going to go to the other place.
Jeff, shut up.
See? God was listening.
I was listening.
See? He heard you.
Once.
There you go. You didn't know we had sound effects, did you, Maria?
No,
Yeah.
this is the high class operation.
Oh, yeah. We got all kinds of good stuff here. We have little puppets from my shopping addiction. And,
Yeah.
yeah, that's Timu Tom.
No,
Timu. Hey, you know what? I
No.
can talk about my addiction now because they sponsored the Super Bowl.
Yeah, but do you
I
know
just
it's
was
not?
going to say that. Did you see those ads? All the people. I'm
I
watching.
paid for those ads.
But wait, it's
What?
not pronounced Timu.
What is it?
It's
Timu?
yes,
It's Timu?
yes.
Yeah, well.
Is
Yep.
it really?
Yeah,
See,
I
if-
heard it last
If I was
night.
going to behave, I would say
I don't know. I heard it.
it's pronounced Q. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
heard
I
it
won't
quite a
say
bit
that.
last night, and one of the people that was at my house went, "It's not Timu." I'm like, "No."
Well, because it
Salute.
sounds too much like Team USA and it's Team China. That's the problem.
Right.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah, it
shop
is.
like a millionaire.
Oh,
That's all I'm
boy.
going to say.
You can shop like a millionaire and have the purse like a hobo.
Yep.
And I'm awesome with that.
Some
But-
of it's not so great quality.
What? No.
However,
However,
if you want
our,
to see,
if you want to see stuff that breaks, we usually hang it on the wall and then
Yep.
it falls down.
it falls down.
Although that sign is up there, my sense of humor may hurt your feelings.
Yeah,
So,
it may.
so it may. It won't hurt yours because I
No.
have the utmost
I
respect for you.
I have the thickest skin on earth. I work with what
You
20 men in my band.
okay? He was going to make a fat joke
No.
because you
I
said the
know.
thickest skin, but then you topped it with you work with 20 men, and this is going to be a very hard show to control my.
I
is.
know.
mouth.
I
However-
know. I
Maria, thank you for being here.
thank you for having me. I need a nice little break from being a sick person over the
Yes.
holidays
Yes, for those who don't
with
know,
the COVID flu
she
thing
had the vid.
The vid.
Maria
for
DeSantis
the third time.
had the vid for vid 3.
Vid 3 and flu 1.
And,
There
yeah,
you go.
Yeah, but you beat them all,
And
and you look marvelous.
Thank you. That's so nice of
see.
you.
Looks
vid,
marvelous.
vid 3, flu 1,
Yeah,
Maria 4.
Maria 4. That's right. She beat them all.
Beat them all.
Boom. So for
Yeah.
people who don't know, which I don't know anyone who doesn't
I know.
know the last name DeSantis and how it relates to music in our area, but because we are now a national household name,
Meh.
You'll get there. You're getting there.
the good, the band,
Manifest it.
and the ugly. Yes, if you say it, it will happen.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So,
I dreamed it.
or did you dreamt it?
Dreamt it.
You could have
sorry.
done both of them. Apparently,
did.
it was, English was not your strong suit.
No.
So, but Jeff is also a musician. Jeff is a guitar player. Clearly didn't take lessons with the DeSantis organization.
I did not growing up in out in Skinny Atlas, New York.
That's
I had
not
to go
how
to-
you say Skinny Atlas.
It is. Oh, sorry. I grew up in Skinny,
Skinny
Atlas,
Atlas.
New York.
Yes, raise your pinky.
Yep. And I had to take lessons in Auburn.
Oh, you must have taken lessons from
The prisoners.
No.
the prisoners.
Negative.
Bob Bjorn.
No, actually, I took lessons at the
Mark
Auburn
Doyle?
at the Auburn Musician,
Oh, yes.
and
You don't have to be nice. You never heard of it.
No, my dad was friends with everybody that had a
Right.
store. So I heard
And
of
I-
everybody, you know?
I took lessons from a guy named Chaz Hamilton.
Oh, Chaz.
Oh, wow.
Nobody heard of Chaz.
So
Still haven't heard of him.
he was also in a band called the Blues Kings.
Oh, yeah.
Back,
Then they
back.
changed it to the Four Kings, right?
No, then they changed it to We Are Not Kings, and they were done. So
We're not Four King anymore.
right, nope.
Yeah. See, I'm not swearing.
No, you didn't. You
I
did
am not
give you
swearing.
one.
I'm implying the potty mouth.
Yes.
Implication.
That's right.
Implication of potty
So-
mouth.
That should be the name of our next band. Implication. Yes. We are so Four King cool.
Yes.
The Four Kings. Yes.
The Four Kings. So Maria, tell us how DeSantis got started.
We know.
Oh, my gosh. Okay.
Not the name.
My
No.
grandfather
Mhm.
was a music professor in Italy, and he came to this country and started his first music store, music school, Universal Music, it was called, on North Salina Street in 1919.
Wow.
And it lasted all the way up through the time my father graduated college, the first class of Lemoyne in 1951, and they became business partners
Oh,
at Thomas
that
Thomas
never
DeSantis and Son Music Company.
That
Okay.
never helps.
I just hung both those the bags from the store, you know, like the 80, 90-year-old bag. I just hung them on. I framed them and hung them on my wall.
I hung
Anyway.
I hung a plastic Wegmans bag on my wall. I figured that'll be something to collect someday too.
The plastic bag period will be something that
New York
You
State
know.
sucks. I got plastic bags in California, and they're never mind.
it's California.
So you know, they did it. Coming really, he played every instrument, but he started a band called the Venetian Gondoliers, which was like a guitar. It was like a guitar but mandolin orchestra.
Okay.
And all these old timers, like, I don't know if like Johnny Latone. Do you remember that guy?
No.
He would have been in like Buzzy Kua's era. Or anyway, this picture I have behind me, unfortunately not large enough to see, they're standing with all their mandolins on the floor, and the microphone from radio says WFBL on it.
Nice.
1927.
I worked for WFBL until the day that they went off air.
Really?
Yeah, worked there about 3 weeks.
Oh.
They hired me. Yeah, you're hired full time. Not a problem. Ask whatever salary you want. Pfft, bastards.
Guess what?
Yeah, then they went out of business.
Right.
So WFBL. So go on.
WFBL. So anyway, I may have told you this in our prior conversations, but my grandfather taught piano mostly, and some mandolin and some accordion in the days of the school, coming all the way up through when my dad was with him. But he taught some of the most renowned keyboardists in central New York, such as Larry Arlotta, the one and only,
Nice.
such as Bill DeCosmo, that I played with in a band, the only other band I did outside of my dad's. Bill DeCosmo was also a teacher at our West Genesee school. I'm trying to think of who else. There was a young man, Rick Blasi, who was his student, who was a great concert pianist and also a pop pianist, probably in the 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s, something like that. But anyway, many people. Mm-hmm. And he gave my dad his whole education in music. And I started playing when I was 4 with him as well. I can't remember all the things, but that's really the start of it.
That's so cool.
They moved the school to South Salina Street across from Sears, which was only blocks from Bonnie Music, which we would eventually buy in the future. And after a while, my dad moved the music school to West Genesee Street. Then he went to North Syracuse, where you took lessons. And
Yes.
Then we bought Bonnie Music, and it was where the Honey Baked Ham place especially used to go. It came in after us there. And then after all of that, we landed in Fayetteville with a smaller operation and one store and one school only. Wow. So I ran the music schools by themselves for a while after my dad retired. And I ran the school in Fayetteville, and that was the last of that. When they decided to double the rent in the building in Fayetteville, where that Federal Espresso is, and Rhythm's music store came in after us. And after that, we had all the growth in our band and orchestra business, and we decided to close the operation, the lesson operation, and we came home. We worked from home. We then worked from home, and it was just strictly the band business. But it was a great run. It was such fun with all the musicians and teachers. I hired the whole teaching staff. It was great fun. I met all those great musicians in Syracuse of our generation. Joe Jewell, Rick Balestra, Bill McDermott. Oh my gosh, who was and it was always generational. There were older teachers, younger teachers, but it was great fun. We loved the students, and you remember them because you would be booking their lessons every week.
Well, I
little
have
Mikey DiUlio.
I was just gonna say. She said little.
I heard her say little
She
Mikey.
did. When I said that I took
that's
lessons
gonna
in
live on
North
forever.
Syracuse, you shut up. She said, "Wait a minute, Mitch Rudy." And
Yes.
boom, I was like, wow, how cool is
Mitch
that?
Rudy,
Yes.
dedicated teacher,
I mentioned
rudimental teacher.
very rudimental teacher, and
Yes.
just a great. I learned a lot from him, and to the point where you almost felt like you had that extra step when you went back into school after summer break,
Yep.
and you were like, "Bring it, throw something at me." And then they went, "Good, you're going to learn music theory now." It's like, no, I'm a
Yes.
drummer.
Yeah.
Oh no,
I
I'm
don't
not.
know. I am a drummer. They're like, it doesn't matter. You're learning theory. And I'm like, this sucks. But
I just want to drum.
yeah, drummers don't need to know how to read anything. Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
And there you go. And people, four-limb independence, you have to be four-limb independent. If you don't know what that is, that's the guy that's tapping his head
he can do
and
this.
doing this. Yeah, that's two-limb. Now tap your feet, different things at the same
Exactly.
time, too. That's four. So,
Really?
but guys, I mentioned Billy Hatch. Boom, Bill Hatch. But then
Bill Hatch.
Yep.
Stompin' Willie. He was a big guitar player down there, and he took lessons from
That guy.
same guy that Ben Morrow was taking lessons from.
Oh.
Was
yes.
it David Chu? Was
No.
it Rick Balestra
Rick
or
Balestra.
Joe Jewell?
I think Rick.
Rick
yeah.
Balestra.
Yeah,
Yeah.
who's the short
Yeah.
guy? Was that Rick?
Yes, Rick
Yes.
Balestra.
So, and I
Yes.
remember Ben Morrow on his show going, he taught me a Metallica song,
Yes.
and first he heard this like heavy rock coming from the rehearsal studio as he's walking up for his first lesson,
Yep.
and then he meets the guy who was jamming out to this heavy rock song, and he goes, looked nothing like I thought he was going to look like to be playing this heavy stuff back then.
Yes.
But
yes.
but that wasn't his forte.
No.
He was a fundamental. He was a great.
He was a jazz guy
Guitar,
all the way.
yes.
Really.
Okay.
He
And-
was.
And now look at Ben now.
Oh, I know.
20 years.
Look at
with
Ben. He's done such great things.
20
huh?
years with
Isn't
Lionel
he great?
Richie,
20 years with Lionel
Yeah.
Richie, did a few years with Cher,
Don Felder.
Don Felder from the Eagles. I
Yeah.
mean, he's just
Yeah.
done it all.
He played with Jeff and I.
Yeah.
That was his highlight.
It was
Playing with us.
back in October.
Yes, we did.
I'm sure.
Oh, he still talks
Same
about it.
same location, Dave Northrup, the drummer,
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
who's in Nashville.
Yes.
And
Another fan.
who were the Maybe I'm Amazed guys? Wasn't he with it? I can't, not Maybe I'm Amazed. Amazed. What was it? Oh my God, I'm having a senior moment here.
no.
Negative.
No. Not,
Yeah.
I'm not going to believe
I
it.
can't remember the name of the band, but he's done great things. And he's been so supportive of young players.
Mhm.
Are one of the young players that has played in our Christmas shows since he was a high school
Mm-hmm.
saxophonist, Dunham Hall.
Okay.
Played in our Christmas show, came to it since he was 10 years old. And he's in Nashville now. He just moved about a year or so ago, a little more than a year ago. And, Dave has been so great to
Well, Dave's
nurture and mentor and all of that. I'm so
Dave's
happy
played
to
with
hear all those things.
Travis Tritt. He's played
Yeah.
with
Yep.
the Disco Biscuits. He was in Madison Square Gardens playing. He's been Tanya Tucker, Joe Diffie, Doug Stone, Lee Greenwood, John Waite.
Yep.
I mean, you name it.
He's
just
done a
so
lot of
much.
stuff.
Yes.
He's a great guy. Great guy.
Wyona Judd. He toured with
Yeah.
her, and Boss Gags.
Yep.
But Dave is supposed to be on the show, and then something came up for him, and he was like, "I am so sorry. We've got to
He's going to
reschedule."
reschedule. So
But yeah, he'll be on the show again, coming up here.
Yep.
For a new
He
date.
comes in and does some stuff. He comes in, my sax player, I think they did something at the Green Gate Inn jazz series or something. And he was in, and Brian Scherer, my lead tenor player in the orchestra and the tenor player in the small group, played with him. But, it's so, I have to tell you guys, when my dad passed away in 20 during COVID, you can't even imagine the people that wrote to me on Facebook,
Yeah.
who were former students, Joe Jules taught someone, Pat Casey. They just would write to me, and the letters and the stories. And of course, we couldn't do anything really to honor his passing at that time.
Right.
But it was extraordinarily heartwarming to get these things in the mail and on email and on Facebook. You know, Facebook's cool that you can find people.
Yeah.
I can't keep up, but
No.
it's cool that you can find people that are in your past, you know. So
Well,
anyway.
and it brings us full circle again to the name that is synonymous with music in our area. And it was only fitting to have you on because
oh my gosh.
not only
Thank you.
have you carried the torch, but your family's been here since 1919.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Over 100 years.
Absolutely.
I'm going to help you with the math.
Thanks, bud.
That
You're the
it's
best.
105 years.
Thanks, man.
105 years.
I would not have guessed that unless you told me.
That's 1 year longer than my grandmother's. My grandmother's 104, and she's
Oh my
still
gosh.
and she's still with us, and she's still sharp as a tack.
Grandma DeSantis,
There you go.
2013, she was 106.
Wow.
Grandma
I'm gonna-
DeSantis.
I'm
My
gonna-
father was an only child, and yeah,
I'm gonna-
106.
I'm going to tell Grandma DiUlio that she's got 3 more
Three
years
more years to beat it.
before
Yep.
she can't go
Absolutely.
anywhere. 'Cause
Is she? Where is she? Is she on her own? My grandma was on her own till she was 103.
she's been on her own since she was 101. Yes, she or 101. She's up at the Syracuse home in Baldwinsville now. Yep.
Beautiful,
But
beautiful place
they
to be
love
if you
her.
have to be at a place.
They love her there because, and she's like, I'm the oldest one. And then somebody else came in. She's like, I go, what's your problem? I'm not the oldest one. My father goes, give it a couple days. You will be again.
Wow.
Sure enough, boom. She's like, I'm the oldest one again. I'm like, oh my gosh, Grandma, you know. But yeah,
Good
she's
sense of humor.
Yeah.
There it
Wait a
is.
minute. Yeah.
Keeping
Your
her
father.
alive.
yeah, you know, my father. Yeah, he's a real pleasant one. But yeah, he's the guy that my father used to come to all our shows because Jeff and I played for about 10 years together, and he, you know, if we said that the show ended at 1,
Yeah.
he'd show up because my mother came to every
show.
I ever had except
Yeah.
for 2.
Yep.
One was the big one out at the Speedway there with all
Yes.
the people, and then one they were in Florida, and she was like, "We've got to get back to Syracuse." And my father's like, "What are you sick? We're not leaving Florida to go see him play
Right.
that crappy music he plays, you know." And
Oh,
but
jeez.
what was this? What would he do?
But Mike's father, I will show this to you very quickly. He would stand there.
Sit.
Oh, no, yeah, you're sorry. Sit there with his arms folded. And if you told him the show ended at 11, at 10:59, he's tapping his watch,
Looking at us,
looking at us, going, wrap it up.
wrap it up. I'm like, we got 3 more songs. No.
So Mike would say, you guys want to hear one more?
He'd get
And he'd
so
lose
pissed off.
his mind.
He hated our music.
But shout out to your father, man.
Yeah.
What a great guy.
Yeah. He's a real peach.
The parents that showed up, they're just too much, you know? They really egged us on, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know
In
what?
their own way.
From what you have done is you've the parents that brought kids to music lessons, they were just as, you know, invested in their child's love of music. If not, it was, oh really? You said you were going to play that stupid instrument I just have 44 payments left on.
Right.
So you're playing that damn thing.
Better get into it.
So you're going to lessons and you're not skipping them. You're not quitting it like you quit softball and karate. Clearly, you're not an athlete. You will be a music athlete.
That is exactly what happened in my house.
Yeah.
So
You didn't quit anything.
No.
But I grew up around music. My uncle, Joe,
Yep.
played with,
Yeah.
you know, Ivory. And then my uncle Rich, he also played, I forget the name of the band, but Rich DiUlio, he played guitar. So we were a music family. So my father, believe it or not,
There's
the
a lot
miserable
of
one,
them.
There is.
He plays piano and keyboard, my father, by ear, never took a lesson ever. and can figure the song out just sitting there and playing it.
Then why didn't he ever play with
Well,
us?
that's part. You got to have all the skills possible. Grandpa would say.
He can.
Thought I'd ask.
He could play the. He went out and spent an ungodly amount back in the 70s when every house had to have an organ.
Yes.
We had like the Kimball with all the, and so we heard 56 versions of Spanish Eyes and the theme from The Godfather, Godfather Cha Cha, Godfather Merengue, you know,
Reggae Godfather.
Right.
Drum roll, you know, on the knee, yeah.
Got it.
So that's what he played.
Okay.
But yeah,
Oh my God.
Enough said.
Spanish Eyes.
Anyways,
So I digress, as usual.
yeah.
But the parents that really were infested, still to this day.
I'm just thinking, of course, you're jogging my memory. You know, the lovely Tumino family that owned Asti Cafe, and now John has in my father's kitchen just an incredible organization, you know, tending to the homeless and feeding the homeless in Syracuse. They all used to come in. He just lost his lovely mom, whose lasagna was to die for. And I am saying, you know, just those families that came through, it was such an honor to, you know, to see what they did what they went out and did in the community. You know, it's like we never forgot, no matter how long it was, since the kids are not kids anymore, they're grown adults.
Right.
You never forgot them, you know, you never forgot them.
But you don't forget, and you've rattled off names of people who have gone on, and
I know they're everywhere, and they're still playing. That's the part that gets me. You know, they're still playing. It's just the greatest. You don't have to be a professional just to bring the joy and love of it into your life, even if it's your way that you you know, divert the stress is worthwhile.
Yeah.
You know, you got to find your place where you need to play it. You know, you got to know. My father's our little mantra was stay in your lane. You know, and the more you do and create within it, you kind of know when you're in your lane, the way things sort of blossom in and of themselves, like that little divine hand thing.
Yeah. But
we were talking about.
Isn't it great? Isn't it great how that lane just keeps getting wider and wider?
It widens.
Yeah.
But you know, like, I don't stop the orchestra to go play heavy metal at this point.
Right.
You know, I got to say the guys probably could, especially my rhythm section.
I would
love
to hear that. I've heard Metallica with full orchestra. That sounds amazing. I've heard Styx.
We do some of that.
Styx with
we
Ario,
have arrangements of that kind of stuff, like different things. We do that kind of stuff, not Metallica so much. I actually want to go down a little more to the rock edge and see what we can create, because the person, actually one of the drum instructors early on in the music school on Salina, and then he came to West Genesee, was a gentleman, the late Len Carey, who was the percussionist playing those mallets and having the ends fly off in everyone's face. He was playing with the symphony, and he introduced us to a friend of his, and who was at West Point, who was a music arranger, who wrote the type of arrangements that we use in a band like ours. So in other words, it's not about original music, it's about original arrangements of the music you choose to play for your purpose, right? And he introduced us to Jay Owen. And when Jay Owen was graduating West Point, he got him early out of the Army band, this is my dad, and gave him a job in an office on Salina Street, writing the main book of music for him in the 60s.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And he put a little sign in his office window that said, the Lone Arranger.
The Lone Arranger. That's
Yep.
Yeah.
The Lone Arranger.
Old humor that you won't get if you're like 25
Right.
now.
Right.
But, you know,
with his
So-
sidekick Toronto.
Right.
yeah,
Toronto.
definitely.
Toronto. Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
That's
So,
awesome.
you know, it's that, the students, and then of course the musical directing he did with his partner Nick Culinary and Monsignor Charles Borgognoni and the Pompeian Players. You know, 42 years of that was,
Okay.
you know, so many young people came together in those Broadway productions, and they all wrote to me too when he passed away. People that are, you know, generation, some of the generation is gone, you know, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know, you add that all together. That's why I, in 22, why I decided to take a shot at honoring my father's memory at the Landmark Theater with our Christmas show. And that was, and I did it last year too. I think Steve mentioned he had come to the show, or he was about to come to the show
Yes.
at the Landmark. But my dad conducted in that theater when it was Lowe's for a lot of those years.
Wow.
So
Man.
he would not have liked it if I made a big hoopla to do about his passing. So I knew, like, you know, we were talking, weren't we talking about like divine things that happen?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was one of them. Like, we were coming off of COVID. We couldn't do the show in 20. In 21, I just wasn't quite up for making a big deal out of it. We did it at St. Charles instead in the church, which it worked well there as well. And then I just decided to do this show at the Landmark. It's an extraordinary undertaking to produce it yourself, with all the costs being your own. But it was the largest crowd we ever had. And I was so delighted to have the Landmark staff, you know, you hire them when you have the show there.
Well, when you have to.
Right.
Oh my God, you have to. But just to have a box office, you
Right,
know,
right.
that I didn't have to deal with.
Ticket
Or,
sales and
you
yeah.
know,
Yep.
And the union stagehands were a union band because we've backed up people, you know,
Yes.
major entertainers before. They were great. They were just great to have.
You
You
know-
know, I have a team as well.
I was going to ask you that because I know that you guys have been a union band for, since that union started. The local,
Yes.
you've been a union
Yes.
band for 73 years.
I'm
Or more,
not
maybe.
sure if it was back when I don't know what year the union started actually, but always a union band, but mostly because that's the way it was at one
Right,
point for all the
right.
big band people, you know, the big band kind of people.
And that would
But,
be the
you know,
AFM for
You
people who
couldn't
don't know.
play for an artist coming into a union house, like the Landmark's a union house, the Civic Center's a union house. You know, you
Right.
can't play for them or back them up, I don't think, any long still, if you're not a union musician.
No, and they won't let you bring your own crew if their union crew isn't on firsthand.
Yes.
Whether they're
and
sitting
that
leaning
we
on a broom or
understood that.
not. Yeah.
Yes, this is true, but it's, you know, at a stage like that, they were extraordinary.
Oh,
I
gosh,
had
yes.
a very very savvy girlfriend who lives in many places throughout the United States, and she decided to make my dream come true of having live trees on my stage the year of my father's honoring, right? And the union guys had to, well, the main guy that brought them had to bring them on, but the union guys had to help them. They said to me this picture, "You're not having those trees, are you?"
Yes, and they're bigger this year.
Oh
Right.
my God.
We
Yeah.
bought those last
We
year.
bought 'em
We're
last year.
rolling them in.
Check them out.
Oh my
Now they
God.
have fruit.
You know, but it was a great experience. And of course, you know, we come from a theater background, not just a jazz background or a pop background or whatever you call it. So that stage is home to us, you
Right,
know.
right.
Well, at least some of us, you know, for my dad, for sure, for me, for sure. I started in musical theater as well. And, but we loved it there. It's a big undertaking. It was a big undertaking. I think I didn't have my friend Annette this year. And I think the stress of it was wholly responsible for my immunity, my epic immunity fail with COVID and the flu and pink eye and every other thing you can name in 1 month. Anyway, that's my story.
How many people in the orchestra at any given moment?
It's 12 musicians. Jimmy Cox has so incredibly taken with he's such a gentleman. He's such a talent. He's such a, oh gosh, I mean, taking my dad's place. They were there at the same time for a while when my father was kind of, you know, he started to his post-polio syndrome started to be an issue.
Mm-hmm.
And so Jimmy just really knocked it out. But it's a full rhythm section, piano, bass, drums, guitar, and then 4 saxophone, 3 trumpet, and 1 to 2 trombones. So it's not as large as a typical big band. But then the vocalists, 4 vocalists,
Wow.
most of the time. Myself, Keith Condon, we were the original 2 back in the 79, 80 era.
Your dad got you cheap.
Yeah.
He got me
right?
cheap.
Yeah.
And you know, I remember even as a 6-piece band, like it was like nobody would pay for 2 vocalists, and every other band in town thought we were crazy having 2 vocalists, right? And it turns out to be the calling card as we added people. But I've had great vocalists. Gary Branch has been with us for a long time. I have a young man, Michael Rinaldi,
Mm-hmm.
who's now been around probably more than 10 years himself. Ronnie Lee is a frequent,
Love
has
Ronnie.
been with us on many, many shows. Israel Hagen was with us for a while.
Oh, wow.
Joe Whiting is a frequent guest.
Jumpin' Joe.
I haven't heard her say Mike DiUlio is a frequent singing guest yet.
She hasn't heard you
Of
sing.
course, Steve Shad was our
And
guest
I'm not saying
vocalist.
it's bad.
I think when you do go down that rock road, I would love
Yes.
to come and sing a song with your group.
What do you like to sing, Mike? You got to tell me.
We
boy.
do. We've done The Journey and Triumph and
Foreigner
and REO Speedwagon.
Things like that.
Yeah.
We have, you know, writing arrangements costs real money.
Yeah, right.
And so I'm very selective about what I have written. In other words, once you have a custom book, you can't go down another road and just play, you know, something
Right.
you bought at some music store, right? So I've been very selective. So we have a lot of horn band stuff because it's like the ultimate horn band, right? There's too many of them,
Right.
but it's amazing. I don't know if you have a chance, you've got to find the video on Steve Shad's Facebook of him singing Lucretia McEvil by Blood, Sweat, and
I
Tears.
saw it.
Oh, yeah.
I saw it, and I was
The
thrilled
band
to
didn't
see
know
it.
what was happening because we had been talking about it for over a year. And I'm like, Steve, the opportunity, the right time will present itself, you know? So, and I'm like, he's doing the sound. He was a Navy guy on my Veterans Day concert.
Yep.
And I'm like, this is it. He knew it cold, you guys, cold. He comes up to sing it with the band, and the band's like, they didn't know what I was doing. Of course, they're used to that. They're
Right.
used to me throwing it at them. And he just knocked it out with so much energy. It was the greatest thing ever. Anyway, also, I've got Steely Dan.
Oh,
I've got
nice.
Chicago. I've got
I was going to say,
all
with
the
a horn
old
band,
soul
you've got to do
stuff.
Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, I have songs that are just for listening, like, Steely Dan kind of things are for kind of listening. But when it comes to dancing, then I've got all the old soul stuff, some of the 70s stuff, some of the, but, I want to do I want to pull some really interesting things. I want to do something of the Trans-Siberian Orchestra at Christmas. And,
Oh, wow.
I'd like to see what we could pull. It's creative.
That's an undertaking.
Should we call Joel Holkstra from TSO and have him come up and play with you for one day?
Yeah.
Because he was on the show last week.
Yeah.
I know. I saw that. I didn't get a chance to watch it, but I saw it.
I'll tell you
he's done some amazing.
He's
amazing
you know what?
things.
He's just an amazing guy.
Yeah.
He really is.
All around, just super.
When we had the opportunity to meet up with him at the NAMM show, in the middle of running to get to his next meet and greet, I was like, "Hey," and he stopped and we sat there, we talked for a while, and he's like,
I gotta go.
we could talk for another 20 minutes, but I have to get over here.
Yeah.
And I was like, go, dude, you didn't even have to stop for this long. He's like,
Right.
no, I owe it to you, And
my God.
And then
Right?
and now it's like it's some of the what
Some
makes
of
it
them,
for
yeah.
us, some of the people that they come on the show and they realize we have this found respect for each other, and all of a sudden it's like you're talking to somebody you've been friends with for years. Ben Morrow is a perfect example of that.
Yes.
God,
yes.
It's
like that all over the country.
And we talked about this earlier.
We did talk about this earlier.
It
really is. It's like you're in. It's like it's immediate.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
I think I told you the story of sitting in with the band in Monterey,
Mm-hmm.
California, or Carmel. I can't remember. Mission Ranch. Where do they have the golf club? In Carmel, that gorgeous. I'm blanking. Anyway, I turned around and, after singing a few songs with the band and talking to the guys on their break, and drummer had grown up with Rick Capato in Malone, New York, 3,000 miles away from home,
Right.
Those kind of things,
Yeah.
or another orchestra like ours that had bought some of our charts, not our music, but our charts, our arrangements of music.
Right.
And asked me to do this concert at the Fieldstone Winery. And then at the end of it, he introduced that I wasn't from there. And this woman from Utica comes running down the hill of the amphitheater. It's wacky.
Yeah.
So awesome.
People are everywhere. You're just connected to everyone. It's easy to do. You speak the same language of sorts.
Right. And what we've mentioned is when you're in Syracuse and you don't look outside that bubble, you think it's just that central New York bubble. And then you open your eyes a little wider, and now you get to Auburn and Buffalo and Albany and Schenectady, and you go, oh, all right, we're still in our little bubble. But then you realize that music is the cohesive part of that bubble. So no matter where you are in the country, sometimes the world, you're going.
We are back.
And we edited out the part where Maria taught us how to make eggplant parmesan.
Yes.
The old school way.
Showed us the inside of her closet, which was weird.
Immaculate.
It is.
I've never seen anybody with that many shoes in my life.
Me either.
You're right.
I know.
And
lots of
in
shoes.
order.
In order by color.
Yeah.
By color. I don't get that.
Somebody tell you that?
Weird.
I'm just saying, you're an amazing person, Maria.
Mike's been looking through your window.
Shh. Since I was 15. Do you know how many people that went to, I'm just going to say it.
Here we go.
How many people that went to take lessons at that school, the young men that had crushes on you, Maria?
Oh, come on. Would you stop?
I'm telling you.
He's sitting to my right.
You were a regular Mrs. Robinson to a lot of men.
Oh, my God. Where am I?
Mrs. Robinson.
Yeah, I know.
We haven't practiced. My in-ears aren't working.
Right.
Can't wait till I get the real ones. See?
Thank
That's
you.
a way to segue us right back.
Thank you, in-ears.
That's right. You suck.
Yep.
So we're going to get to the part of the show
Yes.
that we ask you your fangirl moment, which we know.
Oh my God.
We know it,
Okay.
Yes.
but not everybody else knows it.
Right. So give us
which one?
Give us
Whatever
the one
one you
that,
want.
that moved you the most.
Yeah.
That you were like, wow.
The one that moved me personally the most was we were playing an event, and I'm trying to think of what it was, a wedding or a party or a corporate or something. And George David Weiss was in attendance, who wrote The Lion Sleeps Tonight, a
Right.
song called That Sunday, That Summer, and others. I think Natalie Cole actually recorded that song. And I Can't Help Falling in Love with You,
Aw,
which is
thank
one
you.
of the biggest songs of all time.
Oh, I thought you were speaking to me directly. She was speaking to the 15-year-old me
Oh, okay.
directly.
Good. Perfect.
There it is.
Anyway.
I told myself I had that dream.
I still got
Weemo
Oh
Wappa.
my God.
So got to
She's
keep
going
my
to sing
mouth
the
shut.
Weemo Wappa song.
I'm
The
gonna-
Weema Web song.
The Weemo
Anyway,
Wappa, and she,
I sang a number of his songs as they requested it
for him.
for him.
That's great.
And it was a quartet, and myself and two other singers, I think. But he had someone come and get me and bring me down to his table. It was in the Persian
wow.
Terrace, the old Persian Terrace. And he told me how much he loved my interpretations of the songs, especially the song called That Sunday, That Summer, which is a really kind of a, I don't know, I would say it's more pop jazz kind of a thing, you know. So for me, that was a thrill. But we've had a lot of thrilling things with the orchestra.
Mm-hmm.
We did the International Tourism Conference for 5,000 people from about 100 countries at the Time Warner Center in New York in 2005. And it was a Governor Pataki sponsored kind of an event.
Nice.
And, people coming up and thinking the band was from New York the whole time. They set us up in the entryway on a special stage. It was just like this conference with all these people. That was a thrill for everybody. The state tourism department put us on a real bus and sent us down, and
That's cool.
it was great fun.
Jeff and I had something. Jeff and I did do something like that. We did the International House of Pancakes for about 7 people. It was we crushed it.
It's about our normal size.
We
anyway,
crushed it.
so.
Free. I just ran
Free
out
pancakes.
I ran out of the syrup that we stole.
You did?
I did. Well,
Oh my
well, you
God.
can't get boysenberry.
No, you can't.
No, you can't.
Nope.
Sorry. Well, we know that your battery's low,
Yeah.
so I'm just,
Yeah.
we'll
wa-
yuck it up now.
We're gonna watch it die.
Like, no, that's all right.
Where'd she go?
I'm trying to think. The other thing I think would have been 15 years from like 1995 to 2009. In each of those years, we brought a special, the orchestra with extra people there with us. And it was the pre-graduation celebration in the Carrier Dome for SU. So there were like 2,500 people there and it was the perfect thing for us because it was grandparents, parents, students,
Sure.
their brothers and sisters.
Right.
And so all of that music was great. We had a great time. It was a 3.5 hour straight play gig, you guys.
Oh,
3.5
wow.
It's a lot of wind.
and a lot of everything, and it was a dance gig in the last probably 2 hours.
Wow.
And it was something to see a dance floor of 1,500 people
Of all
going-
ages.
Yeah.
of all ages kind of going wild. It was and at the all kinds of people graduated from SU and had kids at SU, so there were a lot of people in the audience that we would meet and all of that kind of thing. But we have our special things now. We're not going after all that kind of stuff at this point.
Right.
But we play a concert in Sackett's Harbor each Labor Day Sunday that we love. We love playing the local concerts as well. And if it wasn't for our blueprint that involves sponsorship, we wouldn't be playing any of them. So we're grateful to all the municipalities that coexist with our own sponsors that we bring.
Right, sure. Right. Well, we need to make sure that we plug that.
Yeah.
So that anybody that is listening out there, please sponsor local music and sponsor the wonderful DeSantis Orchestra. Yes.
We have a great, it's about business, and we have because it was my baby, but we have a great marketing package that we sell them because we have a big following. We will tailor make it to their needs, what we do for them, besides like a banner on the stage, or our social media has a lot of following. I have someone take care of it when I'm serious about, making it happen. But without that idea, which my father started back in the 80s, actually, but on a smaller basis.
Right. 1880s or the 1980s?
1880s.
Okay. I didn't. Your father. I thought you said your grandfather. I didn't know if.
Oh boy.
What? The 1880s for my grandmother.
My great grandfather played at the resurrection.
I'm sure.
He has risen.
And your great grandmother sat at the right hand of Jesus.
My grandmother was there. She went to school with Moses. What are you talking about?
She helped get the animals on the boat.
Quick, we need more wine. Get him a jug of water.
Any bread?
God.
Hey, we need to know about your bloopers before your battery dies.
Bloopers.
Give us a funny moment.
Do you have a funny
bloopers?
moment? Yeah.
I don't. We don't have a lot of band bloopers, except things like a couple, 3 or 4 years ago in Skinny Atlas. On a dime, it actually started raining sideways into the gazebo we were playing. It was like a storm and it was like ants grabbing music and grabbing equipment. It was like, oh my gosh, it was terrible. I have funny things that happened. One time we were on a wedding, and it was kind of in my dad's time when he was still coming, but maybe he shouldn't have been, and this and that and the other thing. And he literally went down from his piano bench, and he went down, and Israel Hagum picked him up and put him back on the stand all by himself. He was so strong. Oh my God.
That's funny.
I particularly remember the most hilarious Mark Kopani, one of the great guitarists of Central New York, with Atlas and Alliance and all over the place, we were playing for, I think, a bar mitzvah or something. I think it was a bar mitzvah because that's what made it funny. And we had a limbo stick, and we were playing these games with all of these kids, And so, they invite all their friends. They're age 13. We did a lot of work in the Jewish community and know all the traditional stuff and all that stuff.
More envelopes.
So this kid was going under the limbo stick. And before, he must have been a friend from school and not from the temple. And before he went under, he makes the sign of the cross.
Oh.
And Mark Kopani turns around to the whole band and said, "That kid's been watching too much parochial basketball league games."
Right.
Meanwhile, yarmulkes and shoes are flying everywhere at the kid.
Right.
Yarmulkes.
Meanwhile, back to the Hall of Justice.
Oh my God. And then my other favorite thing of Mark's, we miss him. Joe Furlow is with us, done a great job. We were on a break having dinner in some country club, and they gave the band a beautiful dinner, and they came around, and the waitress said to Mark, he hadn't finished all his dinner. Would you like to box, or would you like a box or something like that? He goes, no, but I'll wrestle you if you'd like.
Oh my God.
Would you like to box? And he goes, no, but I'll wrestle you if you like. I don't know. I could think of a million stories. We don't have a lot of bloopers. I can't think of I can't think of any good bloopers
totally
for
fine.
you.
But that's still funny.
It is.
Oh my God.
I just
Anyway.
So Maria, before we let you go, what do you have? Do you have anything coming up?
Cut me off.
Well, you know what? I'm working. We play a lot of our shows in the latter part of the year.
Okay.
And so but what I am trying to do is I'm working on something for May 22nd. It's not ready yet, but I'm calling it the Lucky Sevens concert series this year. This is our 77th year playing.
Wow.
Jeez.
That's amazing.
Which is sick when you think about it. I want to say that it's because of the great musicians that have been we literally play with the same musicians, even in our horn section.
For 77, you've got somebody that's been there 77 years?
No, but Joe Raposo, who is 90, and I still plays writes arrangements for the band too, has been there 50 something of those years.
Wow.
So there's 3 generations of people still. The younger horn players that will sub, and Michael, the vocalist, in their 20s and 30s, and then the rest of the gang kind of 50, 60-ish, 60, 70, early 70s-ish.
Sure.
We'll be saying that about
Joe.
Scars and Stripes someday. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Scars and Stripes. Yeah, I've been around 55 years, still playing 18 in life. Yeah.
Well, listen, look at all the bands. I mean, a lot of our bands have been around 30, 40.
Yeah.
Stroke, Atlas.
Yeah.
50 even.
There you go. Bookie's another one.
Yeah.
Lacquer. Dipped him in
Todd
lacquer.
Hoban's band, Doug Moncrief was our good friend.
Yes.
He played at our Christmas show.
The guys from the Flyers are still playing.
I think Jumpin'
Yeah.
Joe Whiting's still playing.
Yeah.
Joe Whiting plays with us on a regular
Mark
basis,
Doyle.
like in Skinny Atlas,
Yeah.
things like that. But if I had anything to say about it, you know how we all can't see each other play because we're always playing at the same time.
Yeah.
I always used to say that. I said I inducted someone, John Spillett, into the Hall of Fame. I'm like, do you realize that really none of us really know what each other does because
we're always playing.
We're always playing.
Yeah.
Since
Jeff and I took a hiatus from our gig, I've been out to see so many great musicians that I have not had a chance to see in years.
Yes.
Because I was always busy on
playing.
the weekends. And it's like, I don't miss it. I miss it.
Well,
but thank God this is our bridge right now.
Bridge.
This is our musical bridge.
Yes. And you know what, you guys? I try to schedule some of the concerts. The concerts are during the week.
Right.
So to me, that's the greatest of all. You get the pay. I want to say, and the guys know this, but I've been wholeheartedly committed for 45 years to getting these guys paid the way they should each and every time they walk out the door, with few exceptions.
Yeah.
It's been my goal, honestly. And, but honestly, getting to see people, just because I love having Saturdays sometimes and going out and seeing somebody else for a change. I haven't done much of that. I've been a caregiver to my parents as well in this equation.
Mm-hmm.
But what I started to say before is I would so much love for people to hear the orchestra because they have no idea the range of music that the band actually plays.
Right.
Yeah.
And that the singers who sing it are doing it justice, the soul stuff, the jazz stuff, the Sinatra stuff, the classic rock kind of things. But as I go on my rock road here, my rocky road, I'll have to let you know and have you come in and do some things.
Well, it's not the Philip Sousa stuff anymore. So
No.
people,
Well, it isn't.
people need to
Yeah.
realize that there's so
That's-
well,
yeah.
even back, like I said, and then we're gonna come circle, and then we're gonna wrap it up. But
Yep.
when I mentioned Manhattan Skyline to you, that was back in the 70s. That was back when it was a modern piece. You can take and arrange a modern piece.
We
into
we
an
played it
orchestra.
in the 70s,
Right.
and it was part of a Saturday Night Fever medley
Yeah,
that had Manhattan Skyline, More Than a Woman,
yeah.
If I Can't Have You.
I don't want
all
anybody
the-
else, baby.
Da-da-da-da,
Yeah.
da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Remember all those things
Yeah.
from the movie? It was like that was 50 years ago.
And
my
you
God.
just ruined it for me. I just realized how old I was. Thanks, Maria.
It was.
That's it. Well,
Oh, well,
That's it. We're done.
maybe.
we're done. That's all I'm going to say is this. I've been
Come in here,
told.
live music.
Yes,
Yes.
go hear Maria DeSantis Orchestra.
Yes.
As long as Maria DeSantis promises to meet her friend MJ at the open mic night out at Maplewood
Oh my
on
God.
a Tuesday.
I
I've
know.
been told.
I haven't been out.
Well,
in
you better
2
go
months.
because
Yep.
there's too many.
I'm
Dave,
not kidding.
Dave Porter and
Dave
a lot of the
Porter
guys that
and-
are out there every Tuesday
Dave Porter.
would
Yes.
love to see you.
Yes.
So
Do you play there?
yeah,
You guys?
I've got there and I went up and sang. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So I need a verbal commitment from you right now that you are going to go to one.
You have a verbal commitment. I
All right.
promise.
Well,
I'm trying to be like a social person again.
Yeah,
I
Because
promise.
we
You
have
heard
it.
that.
We have it. And
I heard you.
Oh, here we
Maria.
go.
that was God. That was the
Yeah.
divine hand.
Here
right
we
there.
It's
go.
me. I'm the divine one.
see, he said it. He heard you. So there you go.
No, I will. Mary Jo always calls me at the last minute. I'm asleep on my couch.
You better set your alarms then from now on.
Yeah, right?
Oh boy.
So there you
10%
go.
Battery. We're just doing it right in the nick of
Perfect.
time, you guys.
Yes.
Perfect.
Maria, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Oh
Don't.
my gosh. It was so nice of you to ask me to come and jibber jabber cacchiaroni with you.
We're going to have you back.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
We'll pick the topics and we'll expand on
Yes. Yes. We will stay in our lane to
You'll
make your
stay in our
dad
lane.
proud.
them. Yeah.
But thank you so much. I can't.
you.
I can't begin to
Thank
tell
you so much.
Yes.
Such fun.
And Jeff and I will buy you a drink on open mic
Open
night
mic night.
at Maplewood.
You got
or
it.
a nice glass
You
of
got
wine.
it.
How's that?
Yep.
So cool.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Don't
Thank
go
you, thank
anywhere.
you.
We're going to end the show. You can stay right there. And
No, she
Okay.
can't.
huh?
Her battery's going to
Battery's going to die, but
No, I got 10%. It's
Oh.
still
we got
10%.
20 minutes left.
Jeez.
I'm starting the music.
Good deal.
You've been listening to The Good,
The band.
The Ugly, and Big Papa.
And I'm Jeff.
And we just listened to stories from Maria DeSantis, childhood crush of Big Papa. And
There we go.
we want to thank Auk Medical Supply, Sharky's Event Center,
DJ Life's a Beach, Good Nature Brewery,
Uncle Jimmy's Local Live Music, The Print Shop Underground,
Snarky Productions, and
Toffee Break Toffee. And don't forget the Maria DeSantis Orchestra.
yes,
So
we're the
Folks.
Good, the Band, and the Ugly. That's Maria DeSantis.
that's Maria right there. Smiling Maria.
Yep.
Don't forget to listen later, our next episode with Polly Cherie.
Yes.
You get to listen to the production side of the business.
Yep.
Woo.
Thank you so much, everybody. God bless you. Be nice to each other. And don't forget, music holds us together.
Yep.
And I didn't say the F-bomb. Not once. Plug your ears, Maria.
Quick.
We fucking out of here. Now my mom hates me.
Yep. Sorry, Mom.
Good night, everybody.
Too fun.
Recording stopped.